So you know how I'm not supposed to bend down or squat or anything? Just now I was at the mama shop and then I dropped something on the floor. And I was thinking, if I don't pick it up, if I don't bend down or squat to pick this up, I'm just gonna look like an asshole. A skinny little bitch asshole. Because no one else was there. I mean, wasn't there to help me. So I just bent down to pick it up. I am on my way to get another beta HCG from the GP. I hope they do that. Google says I should check it within another 48 to 72 hours, but the next appointment is in like 10 days, so I'm gonna get it checked just to confirm that it's going well. The injection they do at the hospital is different. We usually get call-ins and then we change the aglio olio to more salad. Now I'm looking at all this salad I can't eat.
We just got the result
I
for the second HCG.
was running around 4 clinics yesterday to find one that would do a beta HCG test 48 hours after our initial one, just to check if my levels have gone up and caught up. We found one, just got the results. It's 1:30 p.m. and it's great. It is 261, so we good. Pleasure doing business. Thinking of kid names, and he just said Tambo and urine.
You tell in context, okay? I was talking about breaking out instruments names. My first one was Uku and Lele. That's kind of cute.
And then he said Tambo and urine.
Because she was asking for an instrument that's not common.
Urine. Please say the names you just thought of.
Gui and Tar. Pia and No. Someone just want really stupid name. Trauma and Pet.
I'm using too much abs laughing right now.
Oh, and Bo. It's Owen Bo.
Okay, we need to drive. So ever since my HCG levels are back to normal for that day, I felt more confident confiding in friends to let them know that we're pregnant. And I've told a few people. We've told our siblings as well, but that's it for now. I still don't want to tell too many people, because if you get a miscarriage or something goes wrong with the actual blood test at SGH again, then we gotta take everything back and the people are gonna feel sad for us. And I don't want to talk to so many people about it. Most people I told knew about IVF, so they were gonna ask me anyway. It feels weird that my period's not gonna come. I've been having definitely the most bloating ever. Bloating and abdominal cramps, which are apparently called round ligament pain. It's maybe some cramps like on my upper abs up to my rib cage. And it happens for the slightest things, like when I just stretch a little bit, when I move like this on the bed, which I usually do. And I've also been having more breast tenderness, fatigue, insomnia. I didn't know insomnia was a symptom. I'll go to bed at 9 p.m. but I wouldn't be able to sleep until 2 a.m. So I started incorporating naps into my schedule, and I can't follow it every day, but I try my best. My regular state now is perpetually just sleepy and hungry. I don't know why I'm so hungry. I've never been this hungry so many times a day before. The last weird thing is that when I orgasm, there are also cramps that come along with it. And apparently that's a thing. I googled it. I was wondering if that's a problem, but that's a thing to have cramps when you orgasm. I also sometimes get heart palpitations, which I googled, also normal. I did go bouldering on Sunday, the 9th. I made sure that I was climbing up things that I could climb down from, and I wasn't gonna fall, because falling shouldn't happen. Everything that was about bouldering wasn't really allowed. People would swap to top rope when they got pregnant. So to also tell other people like, I'm just not gonna fall today. It was really weird. Some people didn't get it when I told them there's a weird kink in my leg, so I didn't want to aggravate it. Already went to the doctor said to just rest, but I've been resting for 2 weeks, which was the 2-week wait, which I didn't really explain to them. So now it just is a bigger lie. I'm lying again. Also, just starting today, I've been urinating more frequently. I think I've peed about 10 to 15 times a day, and I haven't drank a huge amount of water or anything. I did my first gig pregnant, not that that's usually what people count, but I sang with New Recording 47 on 8th. At the Sembawang West Youth Festival. It's gonna be one of many performances while I'm pregnant. The next one is gonna be in Vietnam. Really excited. I hope nothing goes wrong. I've been feeling a lot more nausea recently, so I'm a bit scared that vomiting is going to come along with that from next week onwards, because next week is going to be about week 6, which is when most people say the vomiting starts. Today I'm going for the follow-up blood test that I thought was supposed to be last week. It is this week, 9-10 days after my initial beta HCG blood test. So hopefully the results are good, and by good I think it means a high level of HCG. That is a lot more than the initial result, because it's supposed to double every 48 hours. So I just finished the blood test and the nurse couldn't find my blood on one arm, so I have one plaster on each arm now. So I asked the nurse whether we could change doctors again, and she said we just need to go for the first ultrasound scan, and then if the hormone levels are all okay, they might just they will discharge us from care. So then we're free to find our own gynae or anything. So we just gotta do one more appointment with the same doctor. Today I have felt the feeling of writing a song about infertility. It's always been on my mind. This is my coping mechanism, writing songs. And so I shall sing it for you. I am a little bit proud of it because I even added some dialogue, which I don't usually do. This is called Don't Tell Me That. There's no one to blame, it's no one's fault. So many secrets kept in the vault of signs that we haven't figured out. Our minds constantly filled with doubt, trying to stress us only does the opposite. I've done all I can, there's no way around it. I Google my symptoms, but the same is true for both BFNs and BFPs too. Don't tell me that my clock is ticking, or the good things come to those who wait. It belittles my struggles, my pain, my heartache, and does nothing to change my fate. It's not him, it's her. Him? How's that possible? Well, it can happen to anyone, both ways. It's nice that science has come all this way for us to... Oh god, I lost it. It's nice that science has come all this way for us to have more options to weigh, but even then, the odds are not great. Why is it so hard to procreate? In this case, timing the market makes sense, but too much planning makes it so intense. You wouldn't believe all the research I've done for the chance that sometimes it just takes one. Don't tell me that my clock is ticking, or that good things come to those who wait. It belittles my struggles, my pain, my heartache, and does nothing to change my fate. 2 lines, congratulations. Shit, that was always the goal. Now what? Even when we succeed, there's still anxiety. Will it not be the same as the rest of society? So many side effects and so many more hurdles, more often than not stuck in vicious circles. Even when we succeed, there's still anxiety. Will it not be the same as the rest of society? So many side effects, so many more hurdles, more often than not stuck in vicious circles. So please don't tell me that my clock is ticking, or the good things come to those who wait. It belittles my struggles, my pain, my heartache, and does nothing to change my fate. Don't tell me that my clock is ticking, or the good things come to those who wait. It belittles my struggles, my pain, my heartache, and does nothing to change or tell me I'm here for you. Thank goodness my alarm didn't ring in the middle of that. My alarm to take more pills as usual. That's my song about infertility. Don't tell me that. Actually, at first I wanted to name it My Clock is Ticking, but then it sounds like a bad title. It sounds like I don't want to listen to a song that has the title My Clock is Ticking. So I changed it to the first part of the sentence, which is don't tell me that. Full sentence, don't tell me that my clock is ticking. Let me know what you think. Yesterday was the first day I didn't feel any nausea. And that was a little bit scary because as long as I had symptoms, I could still feel pregnant. But anyway, today we're going for our first ultrasound. I've been upgraded from a vaginal ultrasound to the womb ultrasound.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to know if it's still alive or not. So we just went for the ultrasound, and the lady was scanning for quite a long time. She said she couldn't find any water bags, so now we're just waiting for a blood test. She said it wasn't big enough for a womb scan yet, so she was still doing the vaginal one. But after a while she took out the womb one anyway just to check, because she couldn't find anything.
So anyway, it's kind of inconclusive now, and need to tally it up with the other tests. Then we have our consult the doctor.
So now I'm wondering if all my symptoms are just from progesterone. So after the scan, we did a blood test, and the blood test result wasn't out yet, but we went for the consultation, and the doctor pretty much said it wasn't going to work out. I was already googling everything before the consult, and everything the doctor told me was whatever I googled. Basically, if my HCG is not around 1,500 to 2,000, then it's very unlikely that anything can be seen on the ultrasound. And the reasons for not seeing anything on the ultrasound at week 6 could be that we got the wrong date and we're not that far along, which is unlikely because we've been tracking everything to the day. If it's an ectopic pregnancy, it means it didn't implant in the womb and it's not going to be viable anyway. And in that case, my HCG result would still be moving up, but there's no point. And if my blood test shows that the HCG is moving down, then it's most probably a miscarriage. So we'll come back in a week to do another scan, but most likely it's not going to work out. I can stop taking my pills, and we've been put back on a wait list.
It's just sad news. Okay, no point speculating. We'll see. Just gotta do the next best step.
I can boulder normally again. Yay. Yay.
I extended it some.
There are 3 things keeping me sane right now, the good sides to all this sadness. Number 1, the baby will not be born in March, which is a month I really didn't want it to be born in. Number 2, I will not have morning sickness in Vietnam. I might have the heaviest period of my life, but at least it won't be morning sickness, I guess. Number 3, and I think this is the best one, I can eat brie again. Brie, drink Mr. Coconut, I can eat salmon sashimi, I can drink. I don't really feel like drinking. I still prefer not to drink while I'm trying, but I can stop restricting myself from all these. Oh, number 4, I can boulder normally again. Bright sides. The downsides are that we're not gonna have a kid born so close to Karen and Philippa. The heavy period or whatever surgery I have to do to get this pregnancy out of me is not gonna be fun. I have to do this all over again, and it's gonna cost a lot of money. I'm just looking on the bright sides for now, and I'm not sure how to tell people. The whole reaction video is for nothing. Maybe I should just edit it really quick and post it really quick before I don't feel like doing it anymore.
Sorry, your hormone result is 818 and it was 789.
Yeah, I saw.
You saw, right? And you see that the progesterone and the estrogen is falling. So, I mean, if everything's falling, then I tell you the pregnancy is not doing well. Now we're still like a bit limbo. So it can be both things. Can still be a failing pregnancy, or can still be an ectopic. It's not clear to us which one it is yet. So for example, if your hormone is very high, right, like above 1,000, we expect to see a pregnancy sac on the scan. But because it's less than that, that's maybe why we haven't seen.
I'm traveling next week, so
When?
26th to 29th.
I do not know what to tell you. I don't know what's happening until then. We try and do some blood this round rather than wait until next week, somewhere midweek.
If it's an ectopic pregnancy, then it's either medication or surgery, right?
Yes.
But if the pregnancy is not growing already, then it's most likely the injection.
Yes. Okay, I think very hard to tell, but if we are very sure, then we might, because we're also worried that you rupture in Vietnam.
We just went to get another blood test 48 hours after the first one, and if the HCG drops even more, then I think it's a safer result. The miscarriage or the ectopic pregnancy can flush itself out. It's only a problem if the HCG is still increasing or not plateauing.
Progesterone is dropping, your estrogen is dropping, the pregnancy is not doing well, but whether it's inside or outside is what we do not know.
Are we allowed to have sex?
Whether you can have sex, it shouldn't make a difference.
Okay. It sucks to get pregnancy symptoms when I know that the pregnancy is not viable anymore. And like everything I'm googling, I'm hoping it's a miscarriage symptom so we can move forward with the miscarriage and just go back to normal. But then I get stuff like nausea and fatigue and abdominal cramps. Maybe abdominal cramps is a miscarriage symptom, but still no bleeding, and I still get like whitish discharge, which I can't tell if it's ovulation because I don't have any more test strips to test.
I don't know what to do when people ask me if I'm okay or say I'm sorry to me, especially in public, because those are the things that will definitely make me want to cry. And I know they just mean well, but I don't want to cry in front of everybody. I just want to cry in my own private time, like now. I had a tattoo idea that didn't seem too cringy, something like a miscarriage symbol that was gonna be like me hooked into the child that will not be happening. The hits kind of look like music notes, and I was thinking I could put it on the back of my neck so it's not such a huge reminder every single day. If I'm not ready to tell people what it is, it would just be a music thing. And if I'm ready, then I can talk about pregnancy loss, because I want to be one of those people that can openly talk about it so that others will not be so afraid to talk about it. I feel so afraid and alone right now because there's no one I know personally that has gone through it. I feel like I don't have anyone to talk to apart from strangers. If I could just make someone in the future a little less lonely or afraid, if they can talk to me about it, my suffering and my loss would have turned into something good. But I knew that I had to ask Ahmed first, and then he said it's a nice idea, but he didn't want to be staring at a reminder of the loss every day, especially if it's somewhere like the back of my neck. Any part of my body would be something he can see every day. It's a bummer, but as much as I want to solve the world's problems one by one, which would make me feel better about my own grief, I'm definitely gonna put us as a couple first, because I'm not going to do something that benefits everyone else if it doesn't benefit my own marriage. So the idea will just stay in my brain. It may be on this blog for now.
I've been googling so much about miscarriages, about when they technically start, because I think most people bleed and that's how they get diagnosed with it. But I'm not bleeding and my HCG didn't double. That's how we speculated and then found out. So I went for 3 blood tests in the last week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. The Monday one was when we found out that there was no sac in the ultrasound, so we were just supposed to monitor. And then on Wednesday, the HCG started to drop. So that was good news, so that it's not going to be dangerous, I guess. And it dropped even more on Friday. The doctor called me on Wednesday and said that we could try expectant management, which is just to see when I start bleeding and then retry again. But she also said she would call me on Friday and she didn't, so I don't know what that means. So I'm very frustrated with all this, and I'm finding out very little from the doctor. I'm getting most of my information from Google. Yesterday I got it from ChatGPT, and I realized that the the date of your miscarriage begins when you start having the symptoms. So I guess I could consider it when my HCG wasn't doubling or when it started decreasing. For missed miscarriage, it takes maybe 4 to 6 weeks for my next period to come again. I also learned the term missed miscarriage from Google. The fact that I didn't bleed makes it a missed miscarriage, I guess. But I don't know if it's a chemical pregnancy, because usually what I hear described as a chemical pregnancy is that you don't even realize you were pregnant before your next period comes. But I also listened to a podcast and she said she had a chemical pregnancy, but she found out 2 days before that she was pregnant before she started bleeding. So that was a week 5 chemical pregnancy. So I'm not too sure. So I feel very lost now. I feel like I can't really move forward until I see some blood, until I start bleeding, whether it's pregnancy tissue or my next period. I just don't know what the timeline is right now, what the next steps are, because the doctor's not really telling me much. Google's not telling me enough, nor is ChatGPT. I don't know how to make my period come faster, if there is any way to do that. I don't know whether the myth of being more fertile after miscarriage is real. People are more fertile after they give birth. I don't know if it's the same concept. I don't know so many things. I'm tired of waiting for my period to come, even though it's only been a week. But it's been a very exhausting week of speculating and just being sad.
The trend is coming down, so if you talk about young today, likely is okay. But then, however, if you got really bad bleeding or severe pain, you still must come to the hospital.
I wanted to ask if she could write a letter for me to explain to the overseas hospital if anything happens.
No, just okay, in case one, okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell to Nicola.
Okay, thank you.
Số mai trong tôi bóng hôm nay sẽ không phai. Sài Gòn đậm lòng, Sài Gòn ơi, Sài Gòn ơi.
My period didn't come while I was in Vietnam, but I was spotting on the last day. If my period comes about now, it will be like I just missed a month of my period and I'm back to the same cycle. But it's been spotting for like a day and I've had no particularly painful cramps. But I did go to a massage the past 2 days. On the first day I went for the massage, my nipples hurt a little bit. I thought they were just placed in a weird way. So I tried to move them during the massage, but no matter how I moved it, it still hurt. And it was only on one side for the first day. So for the second day, which was today, I tried the massage again, a different massage, but still had to lie on my front. And it was so painful that I really couldn't relax. And I couldn't wait for the person to tell me to turn over. It was excruciating pain from just lying down on my boobs. I never knew that a massage could be so painful from just the lying down part. It was nothing that the masseuse was doing. Ow, man!
Today I am bleeding, but I don't know if this is my period or pregnancy tissue, and I don't know how to figure that out because most people are finding out their miscarriages from a bleeding, so that's how they know. But this one seems very much like a period with period cramps. Yesterday night I had the heaviest period of my life. There were like massive blood clots. I think the biggest one was the size of all my fingers combined. And it was really gross because I was wearing my period panties. So I needed to get it off the period panties before washing the period panties. Otherwise, that clot would go into the drain with all the hair. Every time I go to the toilet to check my pad, I wonder if that clot contains the baby. And like, if I randomly just talk to a clot, I could just be talking to my uterine lining, you know. But after that big ass clot came out, and that morning I also woke with myself, my bottom half almost drenched in blood. Luckily I had some supplies from my friend's abortion that she didn't want to keep. So I had the blue white thing that people sit on in the hospital so they don't stain in the bed collecting fluids or something. So that prevented me from staining my bed. And I'm using her extra large pads she also got from the hospital. But yeah, after that big bombastic blood night, the rest has been pretty normal. It's still just regular period cramps.
That means the next frozen cycle, I will check for you. I will book for you either September or October only.
Okay.
Because now already August, so
Yeah.
let your body rest 1 or 2 months.
Okay.
You prefer October or not? I give you October.
Prefer September actually. But
September.
yeah.
Okay. I'll book for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
There's a possibility of September. So So it's been about 4 to 5 days since the hugest blood clot. There's not much blood anymore. After waking up from a whole night's sleep today, there was no blood on the pad, which usually happens at the tail end of my period. I guess it's ending, but it's not my actual period yet. I don't know when that's gonna come. And yesterday, my HCG was 14.5, almost back down to 0, which is great. And today we have a doctor's consult. I don't know what it's gonna be about. Maybe it's about next steps, hopefully. Yesterday, the nurse also told us that she would put in our booking for the next IVF FET session, maybe in September or October, more likely October because the slots are still free there, but she will help me check on September. And we prefer September because October is the Grammy Box Battle, and I don't want Amit to miss that because of this, even though I'm very appreciative that he's willing to miss it for this. Yesterday we got the news that we might be able to start the next IVF round in September, which is my next period, whenever that comes. And today Amit's graduating.
Indeed.
And then we're gonna rush over for a cake and miss the buffet.
Sad times.
It's called LDR, and I wrote it in 2016 when I was in a new relationship with my then boyfriend. And I say then boyfriend because he's my now husband. To our sound engineer. Another fun fact is he just graduated as well. You're so far away from me. For 2 whole years separated by sea. I just got a tattoo. Here it is. And it's like a pregnancy loss symbol where the parent is holding the lost child, and the usual ones just had like hair coming down to show that they were humans or something, but I didn't really want to misgender the baby, so I made it music notes instead, so that it can also be just a music symbol in case I don't want to explain it to anybody. I did it.
'Cause you're a real J all the time. Cause I'll always get back to you. Always get back, la la la. Always get back to you. I'm always getting back.
So I was spotting for 2 days after Vietnam, and then after that there was a whole period for 10 days. I guess I can't really call it a period, just pregnancy loss bleeding. But yeah, that happened for 10 days, so there was a total of 12 days of bleeding, and I'm finally done. I think I've bled it all out. I don't have to use pads anymore until my next actual period. But this cycle is over, the loss is over. Maybe emotionally there's still something going on up there, but the physical part seems to be over, and I'm ready to start the next round. So how do you feel now that the bleeding has stopped?
Man, I don't feel. Great, because now we can move forward to the next thing. Yeah.
So the diagnosis, in conclusion, was actually a biochemical pregnancy at 6 weeks instead of a miscarriage. And I think after googling a bunch, the difference is that there was nothing on the ultrasound, so it wasn't miscarried, I think. That's what I gathered from Google. But also when the doctor told me that it was a biochemical pregnancy instead of a miscarriage, it felt a lot less serious in my head. Maybe because biochemical pregnancies happen in the earlier part and miscarriages can happen like throughout the pregnancy. So it felt like I wasn't allowed to grieve that much. Like maybe I over-grieved for it. But I know in my rational mind that doesn't make sense. I can still grieve however I want. But that's how I initially felt with that diagnosis, because I was also just thinking that it was a miscarriage for weeks. But I guess it's good that it wasn't a miscarriage. If I do get a miscarriage in the future again, it doesn't mean that it's multiple miscarriages. I don't know, it's just the streak is not there, which is great. I think it's not really how I wanted to end this video. Also, when I was looking for songs about pregnancy loss to make a playlist, this one wasn't in all the lists that were on Google, but I found it on TikTok just by typing pregnancy loss on the audio search. If you click on the sound on TikTok, it's a lot of people talking about pregnancy loss. This is Bigger Than the Whole Sky by Taylor Swift. And I just really like the chorus, but I can't reach the lower version because I think she sings a freaking... She sings a fifth of F sharp. What would that be? A C sharp. She sings a C sharp and my lowest is a D sharp. So I can't do that. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. You were bigger than the whole sky. You were more than just a short time. And I've got a lot to pine about. I've got a lot to live without. And I'm never gonna meet what could have been, would have been, what should have been you. What could have been, would have been you. That's how I want to end the vlog. Yeah.